Hey brothers and sisters, welcome back to another MIKAH'S Mind. Today I want to talk to you guys about the Hebrew language and who the first Jew was and how we should be reading the scripture, etc. and stuff like that. So the first Jew is actually Adam. Now a lot of people believe it's other people like maybe Abraham and other people like that, but it's not, it's Adam. Because Adam was the first man on earth, and we all know that Yahusha blessed the Jewish bloodline, like Yisrael and everything, and that bloodline is blessed. And yeah, so that he's the first Jew. It's not someone else, it's Adam. Okay? So yeah. And when we're reading the scripture, we need to be really like, there's hidden meaning. So when you're reading the scripture, you're reading through it, and you see a verse, you have to think in the abstract. You need to listen to it in the abstract. You have to really listen to Yahusha's voice and what he's telling you through that verse, because the entire thing's been it's been copied down from other people, and it's been copied down, so it's not an exact version, and those people didn't have the Spirit in them. So if they don't have the Spirit, they can't like really look into the abstract and write down like things from the abstract. And so that's up to us to look in the abstract, because he's telling everyone something different from every verse. And so we have to look in the abstract, and if we do find a word, like a verse, and we think it's interesting, and there's a word in that verse, and we think, oh, that's a good word, I want to know what that means, we want to search it up in the Hebrew language, because when you search it up in the Hebrew language is the most pure language. And so if you're searching stuff up in the Hebrew language, like the Hebrew language was the one that Adam spoke, which means it was the first language on earth, which means that's the language Yahusha chose for the world. But of course, because of Babylon, all the languages were scattered, and they scattered around the earth, but people still kept the Hebrew language, some people who were doing the right thing, and so it's gone down, and it's been watered down a little bit, but like, it's still the purest form of, like, yeah, the purest language. So when we're searching stuff up, we want to search it in the Hebrew language so we can get the exact meaning of what it meant back then, because that's what it still means to Yahusha. Because Yahusha chose that language, he created that language, and so any words that we find in the Hebrew language, that's what it means to Yahusha, what that word means to him. So yeah, and then we can also search up like the English thing to see like differences between them and stuff like that, and similarities. But yeah, that's why we use the Hebrew language instead of like just the normal English dictionary. So yeah, after Babylon, all the things scattered, all the languages, but there was still a couple of people who were doing the right thing, and so they kept the same. They were still speaking Hebrew, and so it kept going down to Noah. Noah survived. He's the only people who survived the flood, and his blood was actually pure. He wouldn't have survived it if his blood was like contaminated with like Nephilim and stuff like that. His blood was pure from Adam, which means it was Jewish. So, and we know that that means his son's blood was pure. All of his sons and children's blood was pure. So if they're the only people who survived the flood, that means that everyone on earth right now is Jewish, because everyone on earth came from Noah and his family, and they were Jewish, which means, and you won't learn this from anyone else. No one else will go around saying this stuff, because A, it'll cause a lot of trouble a lot of the time, and B, they don't want you to know this. But when you really think about it, it's true. Like, when Noah came off the ark, he was Jewish, because Yahusha wouldn't let like someone with contaminated blood or someone with like, yeah, they have to have the pure blood to, if they're going to start humanity again, just like Adam did. He started humanity. They started like having children, and so you need pure blood to do that, because otherwise the entire thing will be contaminated still, and there would have been no point in the flood. So he saved Noah because Noah was doing the right thing and believing, and he had the right blood in him. And yeah, if Babylon hadn't have happened, then everyone would have still been speaking the same language. A lot of people would have probably done the right thing, but because of Nimrod and what happened there, it just like kind of scattered the whole thing and ruined it. So yeah, after that, and when they came off the ark, they were still speaking Jewish. Then Babylon happened, and so all the languages got scattered. So yeah, everyone, if anyone, because of that, anyone is a Jew. You look at someone, they're a Jew. Even though people want to go around saying, I'm from the royal bloodline of the Jews. No, everyone is. Because the Jews came from Isaac, came from Abraham, came from Noah, came from Adam, and so it all dates back to Adam, which means everybody has that blood in them. Which means, really, people who are going around saying, I'm a Jew, I'm better than you, it really doesn't, that's not how it works. Because they're just being foolish, because if they're saying that they're better than you, you're a Jew as well, because you have that blood in you. And so it just doesn't work. What they say backfires on them, but they don't realize that. No one in the world realizes this, because they don't think about it, they don't want anyone to know. There's, again, like the generation gap, they're trying to hold this information, they're not trying to look for this information, they're not trying to tell anyone if they do figure it out, they're just holding it in and then just not letting anyone know, because of the sin and the power they want. And because of that, you guys don't know, and so I wanted to tell you. So yeah, this is a bit of a short video today, but yeah, so I hope this helped. Just explain who the Jews were, and like just explain the whole timeline type thing. So thanks for watching, and bye.